is the Big O
All righty, yes sir, good morning.
This is the Big O Show.
It is a beautiful Friday out here at Craig's Inns, Acura of Pembroke Pines. We'll be out here for a few hours talking. I don't know what the hell we're going to be talking about, but we got some stuff to talk about, obviously. Nothing really going on in the world of sports, right, except for NASCAR. And it's interesting because it's I don't know if I want to call it ignorance. I don't know if I want to call it a lack of commitment. But one of the things that's going to get us out of this cycle is to actually take it serious. And on our program, we've been taking it serious from the get-go, right? And you run into your friends, family members. You know, we've had people here that have been watching the show and listening, and a couple days ago they were like, "Oh, it's not a big thing. People are overblowing it," and now you look pretty silly with all of this. But several examples are still taking place, and let me explain. Yesterday, I showed you how Woj was getting info from the owners that they were going to play the games without the fans. Ignorance, not believing it, not taking it seriously, not going all out. Rudy Gobert tests positive, and the crap hits the fan. And they said, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what? No. We're going to end this right now. We're not going to do it. And the NCAA, part of the Greed 3 that I pointed out yesterday, the NFL, the IOC, and the NCAA. Those are the three greediest organizations that there are in pro sports. Notice the NCAA did not cancel the tournament until Kentucky and Duke said, "We're out, dude." ACC said, No. We're done, bro. We're not competing anywhere. Not in the ACC tournament, not in the NCAA. In fact, all athletic, what's it called? Participated sports are done. Then the NCAA said, "Oh, okay, we're done too now." Adam Silver, he did the right thing in the end. It reminds me a lot of the NFL that they did not go after Ray Rice the right way until the video got exposed. Remember, it was just a 2-game suspension. And that video was there. So somebody saw it in the NFL. I don't care what they tell me. And yet they were going to give him 2 games because it wasn't public. And it's one of those things that it's still going on. There are people, Shamari Stone, he's on Twitter, and I follow him. Somebody was telling him, this is all media hype, and it's not really that big a deal. We still have that, and it's still going on. And there's an interesting dilemma going on with all of this. And here's the question I would pose to all of you out there. Dade County Public Schools is still going to keep their doors open, and kids are coming in. Now, this one can't be compared to all the other situations that we've been seeing. Like, look, there's a level of ignorance with NASCAR. They're still racing. So are you quarantining all the drivers? Are you quarantining the pit crew? Are you quarantining everybody to make sure they're not unhealthy at the moment, that they don't have the corona, and they're not passing it on to everybody else like Rudy Gobert passed it on to his teammate? And so NASCAR has got to look. What's going on? Why can't I hear? Okay. Can't hear anything on the. Okay, now we go. All right, so what's going on with all of this? Right? And when we start talking about, what's going on with the schools. Now, listen, this doesn't get past me. I do understand this. I heard that around 70%, right around that number, are the kids that go to school in Dade County and even Broward, I think. I think for sure Dade. I'm not exactly sure on Broward, but I'm pretty sure it's, well, I'm certain it's Dade. They're right around the poverty line. And that the breakfast and lunch that they get in school are the best meals they get all day. That they won't even get a better meal for dinner at their house. So that's why they're keeping the doors open, because socially, the impact it makes is enormous. And obviously, a lot of parents won't be able to take care of their kids for daycare and all of that. But it's a catch-22 because, example, okay, this is where you're kind of playing with fire, okay? This just came in this morning. One Miami-Dade County public school closes following Bay Harbor Island's coronavirus case. Okay? County Public Schools closed Ruth K. Broad Bay Harbor K-8 Center on Friday after the town of Bay Harbor Island's employee tested positive for Corona-19. The school will remain closed until further notice. The town announced that the coronavirus case Thursday night said that the parents work at an aftercare program in the town's community center. School officials said the employees had interacted with students who attended the program. And according to MDCPS news release, the Florida Department of Health in Miami-Dade County confirmed the case, but the FDOH website did not have the new case listed as of 7 a.m. Friday. And what I'm getting to is we're going to get our kids sick because somebody's going to be sick. Kids are dealing with family members at home. Somebody's going to have it. Somebody's going to give it to the kid. Kid's going to give it to other kids. Somebody that works at school, a teacher, a cafeteria employee, whatever, they're going to pass it on to a kid, and it's going to go all over. So we're really, and it's a catch-22. I get it, that if you close schools, you are, you are avoiding from doing a service that is imperative for the lives of a lot of people here in South Florida. Kids need to eat. Obviously, none of our kids should ever be starving. But, man, this is a really tough situation because you want to eliminate this, but at the same time, you want to have some sense of normalcy. You want to have some balance. This is going to create so much imbalance in our lives as it is. It's already doing it in so many ways, from the stock market to the cruise line industry, the airline industry. I mean, there are so many people, and we're all going to take hits because our jobs are going to be limited for one reason or another. I mean, unless you work for a supermarket or a hospital or something like that, those kind of businesses are going to have business all the way through. They're recession-proof pretty much. But the rest of us, it's going to be a challenge. And I know you don't want to go to the extent that China did where they just shut everything down, but putting the kids out there, man, that's not going to be easy. I'm telling you. David Figueroa says, turn up the gain on the volume. Okay. That was at 9:02, by the way. It's 9:06. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I don't know if we're having are we having issues again? Huh? Let's see. Okay. Sounds fine there. At least it seems like it sounds fine. So anyway, so we got that going on, and it's interesting how we're still reactionary. We're not preventive. We're not that society still. And all of this has gone on because there's a domino that then scares the crap out of us. And you saw that school closed. And it's going to happen in other, I hate to say it, I don't want to, it's not like I wish the worst on people or anything like that, but it's really the inevitable. that it starts to break out in our schools. You know what I mean? And that's where I got to tell you that's the part that's kind of scary, and that's why we're not going to get to normalcy right away. Like when it says that we're going to wait 30 days, like the NBA and Major League Soccer, 30 days is not going to be enough because we don't have everybody on the boat yet. Everybody's not thinking the same, and everybody is still putting others at risk. And so while we're still doing that, it's going to be a bit of an issue. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it becomes a challenge for everybody at every level. I mean, it starts even at the top of our government. They didn't even believe in this, you know. So the guy that leads our country was like, "Oh, it's no big deal. It'll go away." And no, dude, it's not going away. It's going to get a lot worse, you know, because that's what the professionals tell you. That's the people that live this kind of stuff. That when they label it a pandemic, when they tell you it's going, those are the people we got to listen to. You know, so that's where this is kind of screwed up. Let's see, what do we got here? 907. The volume is low. Big O. Good morning, Big O. Bill, tell me something. They're saying people over 50 are affected in this coronavirus. I mean, if you have health issues, like Bill's got asthma, like that would be one hell of a challenge. Joe says, now you're okay with the volume. Josh says, should have had closed down the schools. I think so too. I mean, the scary part is it's depressing to think that, you know, I don't want to make it sound terrible, but it is depressing to think that that there's a lot of kids that their best meals are at school.
You try to counter one problem and create another.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. But wow,
you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't, man. This is a rock and a hard. What do you do? What's the call?
And when are you supposed to think that I mean, it's not supposed to be reality that your best meals are at school. No way, bro. They're supposed to be at home. You know, that's sad. Sad in
Just
every way.
like I had pointed out, like last Thursday, 8-9 days ago, when they start hitting the school lunch programs and that stuff, man, that's the wrong place to go to eliminate funds.
Yeah. No, definitely not. You cannot do that. That is unacceptable in every way, shape, or form. If you want to get in on the program, it's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's 786-322-1105, the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Make sure you reach out, of course, to the accidentlawfirm.com if you need a little service there. They will definitely take care of you at the accidentlawfirm.com text line. A little Nunez Law for you. 786-322-1105. The other thing that I saw, and I think this is a really helpful article for people. A doctor, he actually got the coronavirus because he's been treating people, and in the process of treating people, he ended up getting the virus himself. So he started to what he did was he made an article and kind of showed people how, you know, what is the coronavirus? What do you go through when you have the coronavirus? And I thought I saved it here, and I don't know where it is now. Damn it, man. I thought I had it here. I was going to bring it up because I want to read it, because I'm not going to be able to remember everything that that he put there. Here we go. I'll be able to find it this way, which is cool. That's all right. I know exactly where it came from, what news source. So here we go. So a doctor ends up getting the coronavirus by treating patients. So he wanted to share his daily symptoms to kind of help people out there. And because you may have a cold right now. I may have a cold right now. Bill may have a cold right now. But you get paranoid, right? Because you're like, is it a cold? Is it the coronavirus? And it's two different things, right? And here's where he explains everything that, so just in case you end up getting a cold, you end up getting a little bug or something, and it's not the corona, because corona's not the only thing that's floating around there. Here you go. Day 1, sore throat, headache, strong, dry cough, but no shortness of breath, no lung abnormalities with the ultrasound. Dr. Chen told LBC of the involvement of the lungs was worrisome because part of the disease, so he was relieved to see that they were completely normal. Day 2, less of a sore throat, cough and headache, still no shortness of breath, and pleurotic chest pains. I think it's how it's pronounced. I probably got it wrong. He said, I am on ibuprofen and Tylenol, drinking lots of water, doing some push-ups every day. I'm doing fine. Day 3, no sore throat or headache. Yesterday was cough day. Still no shortness of breath, chest pains, diarrhea started. Lucky cough got better. He said he expected his symptoms to completely resolve by tomorrow or the day after. Day 4, more cough and tiredness, very badly, he says. Still no dyspnea or chest pains. Is it dyspnea? I don't know. Tell me out there, because I probably pronounced that wrong also. The doctors added that he was feeling awfully tired by Thursday, 4 days after his diagnosis. Day 5, less cough and tired, still no dyspnea, chest pains, whatever. Is it dyspnea? I know I'm saying it wrong, right? Anyway, Dr. Chen said the most anxious part of the illness was being unable to be with his children and his family. His updates, by the way, have received thousands of likes, and others thanked him for sharing the experience of what it's like to be dealing with the coronavirus. He told NBC that he intends for his post to be educational, but he didn't expect the outpouring of well wishes that he'd receive. He said, it meant the whole world to me to receive support from people all around the world. So there you go. You kind of get a feeling for what the coronavirus is and what you're supposed to feel from day to day. So if you have these kind of symptoms, then that's where you need to get checked out. If you have some sniffles, if you have some stuffiness, you have some sneezing, it's probably just a cold, okay? But if you are having, when you have a regular flu, cold, whatever, you don't have a strong headache. You know what I mean? There are things, you don't have shortness of breath. That's not something that's normal. There's a lot of these things here that you see, you know, that you're not really going to experience with a regular cold like. And so there you go, just in case. So if you have that kind of experience, now you know, okay, I need to get checked out.
I saw something very similar. She does something in advertising or something. She works from home, basically. And she had got what she thought was the flu. It was a couple days later, and she noticed that she was having shortness of breath. She's got to deal with stairs. So she's out in Seattle on top of it, okay? Like, I think ground zero, one of the main spots that it started. So she ended up going to the doctor, and she said, like, she had a fever that was like 102. She took something to alleviate the temperature. It went down to like 100. The next day when she finally got into the doctor's office, it was like 101.5. And they decided that, you don't really need to take the test this out, but monitor and see how things go. And the nurse actually gave her a number to call, whatever. It was like the second day, and issues. It was a Saturday. She ended up calling the number that the nurse gave her, and they sent over FedEx within 3 hours. She got the swab test for the test. So she did the swab, sent it out, and Monday they got it Monday, I think it was, and like Tuesday or Wednesday she got confirmed. Now she was told that she had a very light case, and she said, just like the doctor, the hardest thing was staying away from the family. She's got two daughters and her husband, and like she works from home, so like basically, and they all had to be quarantined as well because of obviously being in contact with her, and it was basically for 14 days the whole cycle to run and for things to be okay.
What I get from that story is that our government and our leaders failed again because she wasn't administered the test right from the get-go, and we're so terrible in this country right now. It's pathetic. Everybody should be able to go somewhere and get a free test right away. Okay? I mean, you know, we want to label ourselves the greatest country in the world, and our healthcare sucks. I mean, you know, it's really pathetic. Something like this happens, you know, you can't even get tested. You can't. You're going to need to be part of the NBA or something really powerful that can go grab a bunch of, because they don't have enough tests for everybody. This should be something that you could walk into Walgreens, walk into any of those whatever those things are called, those little they're not hospitals, but urgent care. You should be able to walk into Walgreens, urgent care, a hospital, and say, I'd like the coronavirus test. I have these symptoms. I'm feeling this. Boom, that's it. Should be able to do it, man. It's a pandemic. I mean, that's it. We should be able to do this. I mean, they're testing. They're what was it, in China or somewhere? I forgot that I saw yesterday. They test 10,000 people a day. They're just in line and they're just showing up, and boom, they're getting swabbed, and they find out within a couple of hours that whether they have it or they don't. That's the way you got to do it. That's how we attack this, where we have the test for anybody and everybody that needs it, so that way we can get the data. And that's what all these experts all complain about. That we don't have data because we can't test. And from that story right there, that's all you need to know. Somebody's symptomatic, and we can't give them a test. I'm not saying somebody that walks in and they're 100% healthy and they just want to take the test. No, you got to look at the person and say, okay, are you shortness of breath? What do you got? Let me see. And you look at them, and then you'll be able to know if they're hurting to a point that they need the damn test. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that just every healthy person should walk in there and take the test, but if you're feeling something, okay, you should be tested. What the hell? We should be able to run that test so we can actually track down all of the people that are infected, because you and I know there's a whole bunch of people walking around that are infected. I've told you already many times, I could be sitting here infected, Bill could be sitting here infected, and we don't know. We have no idea.
Perfect example. I'm pretty sure Rudy Gobert, when he's touching all the mics and touching everything and joking around, that he doesn't think he's got it, okay?
No.
Bottom line.
Well, by the way, video came out, Donovan Mitchell warming up, fan asked him to touch the ball. He says, I can't give you the ball, I'll give you the virus. He was joking around with it too. So Rudy Gobert did something stupid, but he did something stupid because, again, it's where I started my conversation when I opened the hour. We're still not taking it completely serious. That's why the idiots in NASCAR are still racing. Okay? That's why the NBA was going to play without the fans. And then when Gobert tested, whoa!
Like you pointed out, man, if that domino doesn't go down, bro, none of this gets triggered, okay?
None of it. What's it called? NCAA, they canceled the tournament because Kentucky and Duke popped out. And the ACC, I mean, the conferences and the teams were first responding before the NCAA. Think about that. Think about how ridiculous that sounds. The NCAA should be looking out for the student athlete. All they look out for is the bottom dollar. That's it, the bottom line and the dollar, because that's all it is. Bottom line, dollar, cash. That's all we care about. No, we can play the games without the fans. We'll still get the TV money.
You know what's something I'm interested
That's all they were thinking of, dude, is the TV money. And then all of a sudden, Duke says, we're not playing. ACC says, we're not playing. How are you going to now have a tournament without the ACC? That's where the NCAA was like, holy crap, now they put us in a corner. Now we've got to cancel this whole thing. We're not taking it serious yet. We're to the point that we're getting there, but we're not there completely. And as kids now start to test positive and spread it to each other, we will then close the schools. And then we will now give ourselves a chance, okay? Because look at the PGA. Those morons were also playing yesterday in the first round.
Yeah, I think a guy actually tied the course record, and it ain't going to count. He shot a 63.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just what's more important right now is humanity. What's more important right now is society. A lot of us will survive the coronavirus. The problem is we may pass it on to somebody that will not. Okay? That's the problem. In Italy alone, 1,000 have died. That's 1,000. Have you seen that commercial of that dude that they ask, hey, there's 800 and something people die in these certain car accidents or some crap like that. And then they ask, the follow-up question is, well, the statement is that. The question is, what is a reasonable number? And he goes, I don't know, maybe 50. And 50 people come out, and they're all his family members and friends. And he looks at it, and they go to him, well, this is 50 people. And they show his family members and friends. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's my family. That's my friends. No. The number is 0. Because we don't care until it affects us. And the NCAA didn't care until it affected them. When the ACC said, we're out of here, dude. We're not playing. You're taking too long, Emmert, to make a decision because all you care about is the money. We're out. We're pulling our athletes out. Look at the NFL. Bottom line, bro, they're about the dollar. They're not taking this serious. They got a draft next month. What do they expect? They expect a pandemic to be over in a month? Come on. Come on. And you're having the draft in the biggest cesspool of germs in the history of mankind, Las Vegas. Okay?
We've been talking about a 300,000 to 400,000 number. They're talking 600,000 were anticipated to be there for the draft.
That's just the draft.
Exactly.
Forget about all the other people that are there for the debauchery. Okay? So it's just ridiculous. Why? Because we're not taking it serious. You know, the Olympics, we're going ahead with it. We're going ahead with it in Asia. Come on, dude. Next thing you'll tell me, you'll move over to Italy, too, just for fun. Just because we want to play dodgeball. Let's dodge germs. We're not taking it completely serious. And that's the problem. It's a huge problem. It's an enormous problem. And I'm sorry, but that's kind of what I'm forecasting with the kids now. And I get it, man. It's a catch-22. There's a bunch of parents that can't afford daycare. There's a bunch of parents that are going to have to work and they can't take care of the kid. And so school kind of takes care of that and the food. So what do we do? You can't have after-school activities because it's the same thing as putting them all together. And we don't have the kind of space that we can put one kid in one room, you know, or maybe 3 or 4 kids only in a room where they're all separated by several feet. We don't have enough classrooms to do something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I do know this: the answer cannot be putting everybody to get exposed, because the teachers are going home to their families. Somebody's going to bring it from somewhere in that house and then give it to everybody else, including that teacher, who then goes back to school. Those kids go home and they're with their parents and their friends. Somebody's going to have it, and then they're going to go back to school and they're going to give it to the other students, the teachers, whatever. It's the inevitable. If we keep screwing around like this, we're not completely taking it serious. And so it'll be a vicious cycle that will just continue because, again, we're being irresponsible.
How you're talking about being separated when they were, talking to the players and going home, like go home, isolate for a couple. Do not, if you're going to work out, like, some guys have indoor basketball courts at their, whatever. Don't invite people over to, do this by yourself, because whoever you're playing with, you may get sick from them. And it's about the people they've been around, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like they said about when you have sex with somebody, you've had sex with saying, if you're with somebody, you're in contact with everybody that person's been in contact with. So they were all about, don't any of you players get together to practice together. You're going to do something, work out, whatever, do it on your own. Kind of like what you were talking about the kids at school. You can't keep the only way to do it is for families to stay together in their home, kind of, right?
Yep. We are at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. We'll be out here till 11 o'clock. Come on by, 15601 Pines Boulevard. If you do come by, stay about 6 feet away from me. We can talk. And let me tell you a little bit about the 2020 models right now. Some great lease features going on. The ILX is $209. The TLX is $249. The RDX $339. The MDX $349. Only $29.99. Do it signing plus tax tag and registration, folks. Great time to come on down and get a great deal on an automobile, whether you're buying or leasing. I'm sitting here where right in front of us are the certified pre-owned vehicles, and they look like they are brand new. And because of their record car sales every single month, they've got all kinds of trade-ins, all makes, all models to fit all kinds of budgets. Come on out here, folks, at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. Yes. By the way, Mike Fiorellino is going to join us at 10:30, and you've heard some of his spots from Mike No Go Zones. He does a show on YouTube that is really, super interesting, and you've got to watch his latest episode where he went to Syria. It's also got where he went to Beirut to get to Syria. And what we see on TV is nothing like what it really is, actually. We always think it's a war zone and all that, and it's not even that. There are some ugly parts of it, but there's actually a lot of beautiful things about it, and the people, too. And it's a really interesting show where he goes to places that you would never go. You're not going to go to Baltimore. You're not going to go to Opelika right here in your backyard. You know what I mean? He goes to places that just people, they have that perception that, oh, my Lord, this is a terrible neighborhood. You cannot go there. You go there, you will die and all
You're
that.
putting your life in your own hands.
Yes, and I'm telling you. So at 10:30, he's going to join us so we could talk a little bit about his experience in Syria. But it was really, really cool, man, and beautiful. Wow, the architecture there was absolutely amazing. All right, let's see what we got here on the roll call. We got Go Gators with the morning. Josh says Carvello should have closed down the schools. You're probably right. Dyspnea is the medical term for shortness of breath, sometimes described hunger for breath. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Joe. You're smarter than I am. Josh says, this didn't happen when the Obama administration, they were fast and they didn't cancel no sporting events or nothing. This never happened with Obama, my man. This is something completely different than anything that's happened. What we didn't do from the top of the government is what Trump didn't do was take it serious. Oh, this will go away. This will, he just downplayed it. But it's not just a Trump thing. It's because I'm not going to get political here. A whole bunch of people, like I told you, whether it's the NCAA, whether it's the NBA, right now NASCAR, we still have it. With our schools, we still have it. And I get the dilemma they're in, but is it worth the risk of spreading the disease to put our kids at risk? I don't think so. I disagree on that. But, it is what it is. Let's see. The USA has the worst medical industry in all of the industrial countries. Our situation sucks. Chase One says, "What's up?" T-Bone says, "Our Prime Minister's wife has tested positive for coronavirus here in Canada." No, I know. Nobody's safe, man. It's all over the place. Miami Football Financial says travel ban should have been done over a month ago. I agree. I want to go back to 2019. Let's see. What if Biden is president with the son he has in Hunter Biden? I don't know, and who cares? Joe, I love how, you know what I love about the part about politics? Because, again, understand, I laugh at Republicans and I laugh at Democrats. Okay? So I'm not on either side. All right? But I will point out this. Both sides suck, and both sides' candidates suck. Okay? So whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, I just want you to know, if you're trying to defend your candidates, you're idiots. All of you. If none of you have the balls to admit, we haven't had a good candidate in forever, I'm sorry, I can't help you. All right?
When was the last time an election decision, wasn't the lesser of the evils?
It hasn't happened. Okay? I like Obama personally, because I think he and his wife are decent human beings. I'm not going to tell you he was this incredible president. Get the hell out of here. Okay? Clinton, he looked like a cool cat, but he's freaking all kinds of twisted and dirty, and he created all kinds of problems. So I can find faults in Republicans and in Democrats. None of you come up with a decent damn candidate. But you idiots will want to defend the only candidate you have. Why? Because you're just party zombies. That's what I call you people. You're party zombies. You have no balls. You will not think on your own. You won't even take a shot at your own freaking group. It's embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing watching Democrats and Republicans defend terrible candidates. It's a freaking clown show. Man, pick up some balls, man. Some of you out there, just pick up some balls for once.
Those people that
And
are hardcore
look in
one
the
party.
mirror, yeah, but
I
look
call
in the
them trough
mirror,
eaters.
man.
It's whatever the party
None of you have
spews,
any good candidates,
You
man.
come and eat. They come and eat. They come and eat. They
Jesus
spew it. Whatever's
Christ.
thrown in the trough, they eat.
You both sound like idiots. One taking shots at the other like you got a better candidate. All your candidates suck ass. God, bunch of morons. Anyway, Nico Jones says, morning, fellas. Wash hands every hour, take vitamin D every day. A double-blind trial showed decrease in respiratory illnesses for people taking vitamin D supplements. You know, my wife gave me vitamin D yesterday. So how about that? She told me, no, this is supposedly good for you. So she gave me vitamin D yesterday. How about that, Nico? I had no idea, but she came to me and goes, no, you got to take these. These are good for you. So there you go. Now, he goes, vitamin D will not prevent COVID-19, but may help in recovering and symptoms. Nice job by you, Nico. Let's see. Bromar says, what time did the show start? No, we started at 11 today. We didn't start any later. We started at 11 today, Bromar. Dolphin fan says, fins up, baby. I got some fin stuff, too, to talk about today. Nico says, best take, thus far. Both candidates are idiots. Both parties suck, LOL. Truer words haven't been spoken. Preach. The funny part, dude, is that a Democrat or Republican, they don't have the balls to actually look at their own parties and go, we're a joke. That's it. We're a joke. That's all. Big O, the libertarian. No, I'm not the libertarian, bro. I just don't. I try, well, I haven't been able to, but I just want to vote for the best candidate. And I don't care what party it is. Doesn't matter to me. Both parties are all screwed up anyways. Josh says, funny, but it's true. Of course it's true. That's all. I'm the guy that's willing to look at myself if I screwed up or if I, whatever screwed up thing I've done in my life, I'm the guy that looks in the mirror and goes, you're a moron, bro. Why'd you do this? Why'd you put yourself in this position? That's it. When I was in the hospital, when, putting in the stents, I didn't blame anybody but me. That's all. I mean, it's just I'd rather be that way. I'd rather be brutally honest with myself, with everybody out there. That's it. That's the best way. I'm 53. I don't think I've voted for a good president yet. Okay? So that's just the way it is. But I just laugh at all of you out there defending your guy. Like if you have something great or something. All we do is voting garbage every year. People that really can't do what we need, and our deficits fly. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway. All right, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. So when is the NFL going to make their change? I'm just wondering. Do we need multiple cases of COVID-19 or corona to pop up in Vegas? Because, eventually we're going to hear about players. There's probably players now that have it. We just don't know about it. Yeah. Hey, don't be surprised if a golfer was tested positive, and that's why the PGA's, whoa! Yeah, we're going to cancel now. And remember, with HIPAA, you can say, no, I don't want anybody to know. That's it. It's over. You can't say it. That's all. The agent for the golfer can call the commissioner and say, my guy tested positive. He's got to pull out. And he go, whoa, your guy tested positive? Yeah, but don't tell anybody. That's it. It's over. Commissioner can't say a damn thing. He has to just say, tournament's over. We're done. And we're canceling this and the next couple of tournaments. Notice how the PGA, notice how these morons went on to play, and then they decided after they had already played the first round, no, let's not just cancel this tournament. Let's cancel the next couple. Well, dude, you started to play this tournament. How'd you go from playing this tournament to the extreme of canceling that tournament and the next couple of you noticed that it's a serious issue that you weren't taking serious. Is that what it is? Same thing as the NFL. Same thing. I mean, they probably would play the games without the fans. Because Roger Goodell would screw it up somehow. And the greed from the owners, oh, my Lord, come on. It just, what are we waiting for? You're going to have the draft in Vegas? No, you're not. And I read an article where they're already talking about, there's an article out already on this. I'll tell you right now, I was reading it today, that they're thinking of doing it remotely for the draft. Here's the contingency plan for the NFL. The draft, set for April 23rd through the 25th, will be in Las Vegas. As a result of COVID-19 pandemic, the NFL is making contingency plans, according to Ian Rappaport. If the coronavirus outbreak remains a major threat to the U.S., the league could scrap all events and conduct the draft by conference call. The draft would go on, but it would consist of teams calling in their picks to the league and the league office making the announcement. ESPN and NFL Network could still televise live draft shows in that event. The show would look different, but the primary draw is still football fans finding out who the new players and their favorite teams are. Hey, listen, what's the difference? That we don't get to see a player hug a commissioner? Who cares? Do I need to see that? What is that important in my life? That I've got to see players high-fiving the commissioner and hugging him and all? No, dude. Just make the damn picks. That's all. And we'll be fine. And some of you asked me if I would do a show. I probably won't be able to do a show at a sports bar. All right, I just thought about it. If the COVID-19 thing is going on, what am I going to do? Go to a sports bar and invite 100 people, 200 people to get together to do that? I think that would be wrong. Oh, and by the way, in Dade County, it might be illegal also if we get to a certain number. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we'll be able to do that. Now, could I do it at home? I probably could. Now, that would make a lot of sense, where I'm by myself and I'm talking for 6 or 7 straight hours. Oh, my Lord. Oh, no. That would be a hell of a challenge, too. Because, see, when we were going to be at Vegas, Tom from Dolphins Talk was going to join us, and we were probably going to have a couple of other people, and we were going to set up some guests and things like that. Remember, what we do here every single day, most people can't do. Okay? I talked for a straight half hour, and then I took a couple minutes of a break, and now I'm talking again, and it'll be pretty much for another straight half hour, which you never get on radio. You'll get an 8 to 10, maybe 12-minute segment, and then they're out. They got to go take another break because they got to get the 28 minutes of commercials in and promos and all that other good stuff.
If you took all the breaks you're supposed to, Peter would have you dehydrated by all the times you go to the bathroom.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, Peter's always got me taking a crap. Somehow or another, I'm always taking a crap every break. That's a lot of craps. And by the way, that would mean diarrhea. That would mean COVID-19.
You would be so dehydrated, man. You would be gray, and your eyes would be sunk in your head.
I get kidney stones too, because that's what happens to me when I get dehydrated. I get a kidney stone. Not fun, man. Not fun. Big O, did you see Herbert's pro day yesterday? He was decent. I mean, I'm not. Pro day don't mean anything to me, man. Pro day, combine, throwing stuff that's already organized. No, it doesn't do anything for me. Let's see, what else do we have here? George is chiming in with a good morning. Keno Smith says, Bimini is listening, Big O. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you to Bimini out there. George says, Dolphin news. There's no Dolphin news, but I will say this. I was reading Barry Jackson's article, and something I did like that the Dolphins did over the last 24 hours, they had 3 exclusive rights free agents. And you guys know that, for those of you that have been, listening to the show for a while, and definitely following not just the show but the podcast in the last year, you guys know that I had incredible enthusiasm for this rebuild. I love the direction that the Dolphins are going in. I love the way they went about it. They didn't go the expansion way, that when they tore it down, they had some young guys and some other older guys to try to balance. No, they went young all the way through. Sure, it meant growing pains. Sure, it meant a lot of losses, some embarrassing ones at the beginning because the guys were so young. But what I loved about it was that fishnet approach of going after all these young guys. You end up finding the Preston Williams and the Nick Needhams of the world. And they re-signed yesterday Isaiah Ford. And Isaiah's a kid that has kind of fought his way to have the season he had last year, which is a really good season. He showed that he can play. And I think we've all come to respect Isaiah Ford. Am I right here as a Dolphins fan? At least I have. Because how do you not respect somebody that fights for their dream? And you're a 7th-round pick. You're on the practice squad year after year. You've suffered a couple of injuries. You don't get really the call you need with the big club. A couple years in, you could easily quit on it. He doesn't quit. He fights through it. And he finally gets that opportunity this past season, and he shined. He has some nice moments for the Dolphins. So they kept Isaiah, and I love this because this is how you build a team. Because you go and find young guys that others have given up on. Hey, listen, let's not make it sound like it's impossible. I know the XFL just canceled the rest of their season, but P.J. Walker slipped through a lot of cracks and got all the way to the XFL. Now he's going to make his way back to the NFL. So what the Dolphins did last year was genius. It wasn't tanking. It was a different way of rebuilding a team. Okay? Instead of worried about only half the roster being young and the other half being old so you can have guidance and all that crap, they said, no, man, we want to pare it down all the way and leave this roster bare and no experience. Let's get all young guys because that's what we can build on for the future. What do we need a 10 or 15-year veteran? They're not going to be any useful for us 3-4 years from now when we're good. Preston Williams might be the guy 3-4 years from now. Nick Needham might be helping you 3-4 years from now. Both are going to help you this coming season. You know what I mean? So the fact that they signed Isaiah Ford, I love. Trent Harris, the former Kane, also. And not like he really showed a lot, but he's still young and green, and he can grow and maybe show you something. And then the Zach Seiler kid, who in that Cincinnati game was a monster. It was like, who the hell is this? And then adding insult to injury in a good way, the following week against the Patriots, he barely played. And this guy was a former Patriot. And to me, and Nick Needham was a former Patriot. To me, that's where I say, okay, there must have been something to this kid because you don't ball out the way he did one week. And then all of a sudden, you just limit him the next week. That to me was so coy that they were like, you know what, we don't need to showcase this guy anymore. Let's just keep him under wraps. Boom, that's it. Who knows? He might be the Dolphins' Kendrick Nunn next year. Seriously. Guy you picked up at the end of the year, showed you a little some. You stashed him. Now you whip him out the following season, and he goes and balls out. And don't tell me it's impossible because I watched Preston Williams. Don't tell me it's impossible because I watched Nick Needham, who looked terrible in the preseason, but gradually got better. I was making fun of Nick Needham in the preseason last year. When it came to Nick, we don't need to see him anymore, is what I was saying. And I was wrong. Kid showed you something. So I like that they made those moves. They may turn out to be nothing, but they may turn out to be some pretty damn good moves. So that's something. Those are transactions that you got to look at going into next year and make that mental note. That if Trent Harris elevates himself and starts to play well, you're going to go, wow, they found that guy out of nothing. And if Ford continues to improve off of this last year, it's like, whoa, that 7th-round pick is really paying off. And the Seiler kid, again, you stole somebody off somebody's practice squad, and now you made him a player. I like it. That's some stuff that I saw yesterday from the Finns. I know that they sent Reggie McKenzie to Clemson for their pro day, and we'll see what happens there. But several players like Simmons could be one of the guys in the mix for Miami at number 5. I like it. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Let's see, what do we have here? George says, I get it. Considering what's going on with the Vegas draft, really isn't important. It does suck, though, because this is the Dolphin draft. No, hey, listen, man. I'm going to hate it more than anybody. I was looking forward to going to Vegas and broadcasting those 3 days and having an absolute blast. But there's way more important things. And we can watch the draft from home and do our thing. Mark McCormick says, listening in from Canada, Big O. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you, sir. Josh says, should the Dolphins bring back Cam Wake? You know, I'm glad that you brought that question up because that is something that I wanted to talk about. You read my mind. And here's a little more Dolphins talk for you when it comes to Cam Wake. He was released by the Tennessee Titans, and he produced a 7th-round compensatory pick for Miami. It would have been a little higher, obviously, if he would have stayed healthy, but he only played a few games and got injured and done. I don't know if Cam intends on playing another year. He's had his share of injuries now, and he's obviously wearing down here down the stretch of his career. I got to tell you something. I would really like Cam Wake to be brought back for one more year. Kind of close out his career as a Dolphin. But more importantly, I just told you about Zach Seiler. And Charles Harris I'm not going to mention, okay? Because Charles will be on the team for training camp. He'll probably be cut when they got to get to 53. But I don't think he's going to do anything with him. But everybody else, Trent Harris and everybody else that's on that team, Taco Charlton, you name it, these are all guys that could learn from Cam Wake. Cam Wake's leadership, while this is the kind of team that you really don't want a lot of old guys because you're trying to build for the future, this is one piece, and I'll tell you many reasons why. One, like I just told you, the experience is second to none. So all these young defensive ends and the guys you draft can pick his brain, can see how he prepares. Watching film throughout the week, what he eats, you name it, an incredible influence on your team. Okay? The other thing is because of the way Cam Wake's career has gone towards the back end here, that it has not been stellar, he can't ask you for a lot of money. So it's probably a veteran minimum type deal with a couple of incentives thrown in there. So that way he gets compensated if he does stay healthy and does produce. But more importantly, it gives you an opportunity that if he can stay healthy, he has 16 games to be around your young football players. And there isn't a better example of a human being, of a leader, a player than Cam Wake. And here's the other thing. Because there's a youth movement, because let's say you draft A.J. Epinesa at number 18, okay? Or whatever other guys you get, I don't care. And also maybe in free agency if you find a young guy that you like in the pass rush mold. He doesn't need a ton of playing time. So you can play all your young guys the majority of the snaps, and you can use him as an occasional pass rusher in key pass rushing situations where he can bring his experience, maintain that energy so he uses it in just a couple of moments in the game. 15, 20, 25 plays, no more than that. Keep him super fresh. But more importantly, keep him there on the team. So, yeah, I am one of those guys that would like to see Cam Wake come back and be a part of the Miami Dolphins. I think it makes all the sense in the world. It's not like you've got 5 or 6 DNs that you're locked in and, oh, man, we are super loaded. We can't give up anybody. You know, Cam can be that last defensive end that is the leader, that is the teacher of that group. Yeah, the idol. This will probably be an idol to some of the guys there. That kind of stuff, yes. I love it. I love the idea of bringing Cam Wake back for a year. If Cam Wake's willing to come back from the injury, if Cam Wake is willing to play and all of that, yes, no doubt. All right, let me tell you about Moody's Dental. We love talking about Eric and his dad. They do amazing work at Moody's Dental, whether it's Invisaligns, like I have, or the implants. Call them, 305-821-0231. Get those teeth looking great. Call Moody's Dental. They do it all, teeth cleaning. You want to do a crown, you name it, a root canal, state-of-the-art equipment. I tell you guys this all the time. If you have to have an implant done or a crown or anything like that, they make the tooth right there and then. You're not going to come back for a second trip or maybe even a third trip. On that same first trip, you won't have to take off from work a second day. You won't have to miss work a second day. You'll get to do it all at once because at Moody's Dental, state-of-the-art equipment allows you to be efficient. That's what it's all about. Call them right now, 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231, Moody'sDental.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opa-locka, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2020 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we are back here at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the second hour of the program. Remember, we go 1 to 4 over at Hialeah Park later this afternoon. So come on by and say hi over there at Hialeah Park. We would love to see you out there at Hialeah Park. It'll be fun to be at Hialeah Park. Go to the poker room and gamble your brains away. Nothing wrong with that. At the bottom of the hour, Mike Fiorellino is going to join us. Mike No Go Zones is the website. It's actually the YouTube page. He'll join us at the bottom of the hour. And Mike does things that most of you would never do. I wouldn't do. But then after he's done, you're like, hey, I want to check that out. And his latest episode at Mike No Go Zones, he went to Syria. Okay? And to get to Syria, he had to go through Beirut. Now, again, when I tell you Syria and Beirut, you only have just one image in your mind. Death, destruction, war, constantly. That's all that's ever going on. You are going to freak out when you watch that. Okay? I'm just telling you. And Beirut, wow, Beirut is beautiful. Holy moly, Beirut is beautiful. Seriously, you got to check it out. It's really, really interesting. Later on in the afternoon, Anthony Chang will join us at 1 o'clock. So we'll have a little fun with him. At 2:30, we'll have a Dolphin president. At 3 o'clock, Steve Calabro, the casino manager, will join us. So we'll talk all things gambling with him. And if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us as always. There you go. Mike's already here as it is. Good stuff. Anyway, so we got a bunch of things. It's crazy because nothing is going on in sports, right? But while nothing is going on, there are still some kind of interesting storylines with all of this. And Jordan Reed, like we've got NFL free agency, by the way, next week is going to save our asses because there's not going to be anything going on in sports. Now, NFL free agency is something we would have already been talking about as it is, leading into it, obviously, but it's actually going to happen next week. That we need in a big-time way.
I was thinking about this, though, how you don't like to talk hypothetical. If this goes on really, really long, we may have to venture to hypothetical, which I know you hate.
Yeah, I'm still probably going to stay away from that no matter what. This, while it's going on, there are storylines that are developing. And last week, I believe it was last week, Jordan Reed was approached by the St. Louis Rams. I'm sorry, the Los Angeles Rams. And I ripped into the NFL. I ripped into the Rams. I can't rip anymore into Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed clearly isn't very smart, right? I mean, that's the only way I can describe Jordan Reed. I have to describe him like an incredibly stupid individual, right? He has 7 recorded concussions. That means a lot more has happened, right? Now, he is visiting Seattle. So the Seahawks are interested in Jordan Reed. Again, this is a man that has been concussed over and over again. Do you realize that Jordan Reed missed the entire 2019 season because he was in concussion protocol? His 7th concussion kept him out an entire year. In fact, he was still in concussion protocol 2 months after the season ended. Yet now that he's recovered, he is now visiting teams. So this guy's brain is already at a point that when it gets rattled like it did, he had to wait a year to recover. So how is this league actually going to allow a player like that to play? And when you think that the draft is already next month and we've got a pandemic going on, does it surprise you that the NFL has still not canceled this thing for the fans? We're 5 weeks away. I think you'd like to tell people, hey, go ahead and cancel your hotels, your Airbnbs, your cars, whatever it is that you reserved over in Vegas. Hell, I'm sure, I don't know, maybe some of you can tell me on the chat board if you want, or on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. I know already a couple of my friends canceled their stuff in Vegas. They were going to go out there and hang out with us and party and all that. Canceled already. They're like, no way, dude, I'm not going out of Vegas. I don't care what they do over there. So there you go. And I would imagine some of you are how has the NFL not canceled it? Oh, because they just don't care. Ray Rice, did they care about women? No, until the video came out. Then they wanted to hold Ray Rice out for the year. So you're going to go. You're going to approach Jordan Reed now for a contract. You know how ridiculous that is? You know how insulting that is? I just just don't tell me that you care about the players' welfare. Just don't tell me that you care about their safety, and yet you want to sign Jordan Reed to a contract. And this is a football thing overall, obviously, because it's now the Rams and then Seattle. Both are inquiring about his services. I saw that story, and it makes me sick to my stomach that this league would allow even Jordan Reed to play. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in. Now, while everything is getting canceled, right, the NBA season's been postponed, and we don't know when they're going to come back. They're going to, check again in 30 days and reassess everything. And everybody knows this isn't going to start in 30 days. It's going to take a little longer, but whatever. And the Heat obviously have to wait their turn. You saw what happened with the MLS. Sadly, Inter Miami had played their first 2 games on the road. And this week was going to be their home opener, sold out. Everybody was pumped up about this. This was going to be a hell of an event for South Florida sports and especially for soccer fans. Looking forward to it. So for whatever reason, all these things are getting canceled. Well, we know the reason why they're getting, but what I mean by for whatever reason, it's affecting people in different ways. I laugh when it comes to hockey. Okay? I love my Panthers, man. All right? I'm a big supporter of the Panthers. I think the ownership group is fantastic overall. I think it's a great organization. I really do. I really root for them because they're trying to win. They're trying to do all the right things. But, again, kind of like what we were talking about with all the candidates that we have over the years, that they all suck for president. Doesn't matter what side you're on. You look at the Panthers, and does it really matter that they stopped the season? I mean, some people are writing, or I don't even know if they're saying it on radio, but I read an article where, well, it would be a shame for the Panthers because maybe they have a shot at getting in the playoffs, and I'm sitting there going, have you watched the season? I mean, I get you want to play the if game and you never know and all that crap, and I get it that flukish things happen at times, but we kind of know what the Panthers are. Okay? And let me put it the other way. Okay? I remember when I was a kid, there was a movie called Old Yeller. And Old Yeller ended up getting rabies. And so the sad part of the story at the end is that they had to put the dog down because of the rabies. Well, this is a dog that needs to be put down. That's what the Panthers are. The Panthers right now, the owners are in a situation where they've got Old Yeller. Okay? And unfortunately, they got to put Old Yeller down. And they've got to go and get a new dog eventually. And that's what you've got to do with the Panthers because they've got no dogs on that team. Barkov isn't a dog. As talented and gifted as he is, he does not have dog in him. And Huberdeau, the same thing. In fact, anything and everything Dale Talon does, I don't see any dog in it for the Panthers. I don't care what he did in Chicago. What he did for the Blackhawks means nothing to me anymore. You're 10 years removed from that crap, dude. And for those of you out there that are holding out hope that you think that by some miracle the Panthers are actually going to get in and make an impact, man, you're so full of crap your eyes are brown. The best thing that can happen to the Panthers is that it ends right now, so you leave in doubt, what if? Do you know why? Because if you end up playing the season, all you're going to do is get what you normally get from this group of players. They're soft, they choke, and they come up short. Because it doesn't matter what talent they are. Their characteristic is already etched in stone. And nothing's going to change. So if the NBA season ended right now because the coronavirus dragged on for 6 months and the NBA said, well, we've got to move on, we've got to turn the page, and we've got to call this a season that there will be no champion. It'll be vacated, as they say. I would feel bad for the Heat. Not that the Heat were going to win a title, but they legitimately have earned a right to be in the playoffs. They have legitimately shown everybody that they're a top 4 team this year. The Panthers have legitimately shown you that they're soft, they choke, they're not good enough to be in the playoffs, and they won't make an impact to be in the playoffs. So while you got to feel for Rutgers and you got to feel for Dayton because they canceled the tournament, you can feel sorry for the Heat because you'd like to say, what if? Let's see if they can play these games. Can they make it interesting? Can they win a game or 2 or 3 against some of the upper echelon teams in the playoffs? These things you can believe in. But when it comes to the Panthers, come on, man. Let's stop the mental masturbation already. Okay? the best thing is to put Old Yeller out of its, depression, desperation,
All right,
disease.
This is strictly a joke. You remember what Old Yeller was traded for?
Old Yeller was traded for?
He handed, I forget the famous actor. You know who?
Landon?
No, blonde-haired guy, tough guy. God, I can't remember his name now. But he gave him the horny toad. Remember, the horny toad that he had. That's a fine horny toad, blonde. That's what he gave him.
I don't remember.
And he gave him Old Yeller. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to walk up with the horny toad and get an Old Yeller.
Right, no.
And the other thing is, maybe we're getting put out of our misery, man. It's been an up and down ride, and it's been the same thing we've done for the last 12.
That's what I'm saying.
They're like, maybe
that's what I'm saying.
We're being put out of our misery. Maybe we're Old Yeller. Wow.
The Panthers are the Old Yeller. This Panther team, let me not say the Panther organization, because they're trying. No,
in no way, shape, or form is this on the ownership.
Or Coach Q.
They have done everything they can.
I'm not even blaming Coach Q for any of this. Do you know why? Coach Q inherited these guys. He inherited the core.
It's a good point, man.
And the core has been soft way before Coach Q. I'm blaming only one guy for all of this, and it's Dale Talon. Because it's his fingerprints that have coronavirused the entire team.
Got to use the Parcells, and now he never got to buy any of the groceries.
Right. Well, he bought all the groceries, and they're all rotten.
I mean, for Coach Q.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't get to purchase any
of
them.
Nope. Cheyenne Moore says, Wake is done. Brother, you had Charles Harris as your last defensive end this year. Actually, for the last 4 years. You want done? That guy's been done. So your last let's not make it sound like Miami's fifth defensive end is going to get you 10 sacks. Huh? I didn't know that they were going to be that deep already this year. Way to go. Yeah, no, you're right. Cam Wake is no good. Why bring him in? I love people like that. Yes. Let's make it sound like we're going to have 5 great defensive ends. Cam Wake as your fifth defensive end is fantastic. For all the reasons I said. Miguel Garcia says, thanks for supporting Cameron. We need his experience here. It's not a matter of support. It just makes sense. Yeah, a no to Wake unless it's a one-day contract to retire. I hate those one-day contracts. Those things are ridiculous. Let's see. What else do we have here? T-Bone says, I have a feeling Dolphins are going to draft 3 O-linemen and 3 D linemen. As for a QB, they probably either Tua or Love, but they aren't stupid to move up for Tua. Maybe just maybe it's all Love all along. We'll see. Or maybe Jordan Reed loves the game so much he don't care. The guys that are usually great players would do such the sacrifice. Not cool to do the guy. He's got heart. He actually loves the game. Josh says, I'm pretty sure people already canceled. Oh, for sure. People have to be canceling the Vegas trip. They have to. Alex Rodriguez says, morning peeps. Ty says, Big O, Harris has got to go. Bust, period. Yeah, but there's no reason to cut him right now. You don't pay him till the start of the season. So keep him around for the offseason. Keep him around for training camp. Maybe the guy turns it on and turns the corner. And if he doesn't, he's training camp fodder and you let him go. But it doesn't hurt you to keep Harris for one more year. He's under contract. Radiohead 68 says, Fess Parker. Okay. King Short says, top of the morning, peeps. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So there you go. A little bit of the chats. A little chat board for you. What's the other thing that I wanted to tell you guys? Yesterday, 2 days ago, and we talked about it yesterday, the Dolphins were awarded 2 compensatory picks for the aforementioned Cam Wake, a 7th rounder. And then Jawan James brought you a 4th rounder Would have been a little higher if actually would have stayed healthy and finished the season, but it couldn't happen. So I wanted to walk you guys through the Dolphins' picks. And they've got 14 of them now. Here's how it goes. In the first round, they've got the 5th, the 18th, and the 26th pick in the draft. In the second round, they've got the 39th and 56th. So they've got 5 of the top 56 picks in the draft. That's pretty cool. And the good thing is you've got one in almost every part of it except in the 40s. You got a 5, you got a teens, you got a 20, you got a 30, and you got a 50. Okay? So you got several options there. Second round, you got 39 and 56. And the 7th round, you got number 70. You got one pick in the 7th round, in the 3rd round at number 70. So you've got 6 picks in the top 70. Pretty good too. In the 4th round, you've got one selection at 141. In the 5th round, all fans, you've got 3 selections in the 5th round. 153, 154, and 173. Okay? Back-to-back picks in the 5th round. It's nice. 6th round, you've got one pick, 185. 7th round, you've got 3 picks, 227, 246, and 251. That will be, I guess, your final pick of the day. Those are the 14 picks for the Miami Dolphins in their 7-round draft.
Old Yeller actor Chuck Connor.
Oh, the Rifleman.
Thank you.
I completely forgot it was the Rifleman.
Yeah, man, remember the scene? He trades the Horny Toad for Old Yeller. The mom sent, and he, releases the Horny Toad right after the kid turns around and runs away.
I don't even remember that anymore. I don't think I remember that movie anymore. I don't. I barely remember it.
That was one of those films, St. John's, Catholics, on a Friday, whatever, the afternoon, instead of doing art, whatever, you pay like 25 cents, and like the whole school would go down to the auditorium and watch literally on the old reels Walt Disney World movies.
Reels, baby. Love that. Especially when they used to break and then you'd have to tape them together. Back in the day. Yep, we're old. Let's see. What else do we have here? Wake's in great shape, getting healthy, probably a couple good years left. Love Cam. I don't know about a couple good years, but at least one more year King short, I wouldn't mind. Go Gator says Miami should look at linebacker edge rusher Zach Bond from Wisconsin. I love Zach Bond. We had him on our show in the Senior Bowl, and I'm a huge Zach Bond fan. I love Zach Bond. I'm with you there, man.
That was actually a pretty cool interview.
And
that's the badass line. We got him, blood. Yeah. The first thing he said, he came on. I'm the badass linebacker.
Yes, exactly. Go to our iTunes or whatever and go look at late January. That's when we were at the Senior Bowl, and go check out our Zach Bond interview. It was a lot of fun. He was good. I'm with you all the way. If they draft Zach Bond, if I'm on camera, you're going to see me go crazy. Okay? Guaranteed you'll see me, jump up and down and go nuts. Love Zach Bond.
Is 18 a chance, though?
Oh, yeah.
25 is a no, right?
No. I think that's where he's going to go.
Really? That late?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, linebackers, man.
You know what? We need those 4 or 5 quarterbacks to sneak up in front and push that guy back,
Yeah. I don't mind getting Zach. I love Zach. I think he's a hell of a player. Happy Friday the 13th to everybody. Okay. You know what? I didn't realize that this was Friday the 13th. How about that?
There was 3. I saw something Facebook. A full moon started this week. We had something else and a Friday the 13th. Be careful, watch your surroundings, that, superstitious stuff.
Okay. All right. On the other side, we're going to talk to Mike Fiorellino. He's got a show called Mike No-Go Zones, and he's here with us, so he'll be on camera also. And Mike goes to places that you wouldn't go. Even right here in our backyard in Opelika. A lot of people won't go to Opelika because they think it's just absolutely terrible, and all they're doing there is killing each other and drug dealing. And then Mike has the balls to go to these places and show you that it's not nearly as bad as you think it is. In fact, it's actually pretty cool, and he might inspire you to then go try some of these places. His latest venture was Syria. Yes, Syria. Now, I know what your image is of Syria because I have the same image. But after you watch that show and you see what Syria is all about, and he went through Beirut to get to Syria, and Beirut was gorgeous, dude. The architecture there just blew me away. So we're going to talk to Mike when we come back on the other side right here on the Big O Show, live from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The world's biggest band is coming twice. Metallica. Headlining the Welcome to Rockville Music Festival. 2 different nights, 2 different sets. The weekend of May 8th through the 10th. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com for all information. Get your tickets on sale right now. The one, the only Metallica. Go to welcometorockvillefestival.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All righty, welcome back. Coming to you live, baby, from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. And I told you Mike Fiorellino would be kind enough to join us here. He's got a very interesting show. It's called Mike No Go Zones. You can find it on YouTube. And he goes to places that most of you and myself would not have the balls normally to go to, because you would think, well, wait a minute, dude, aren't you putting your life on the line if you go to Chicago? Aren't you like risking it if you go to Baltimore? Or what are you doing in Opelika? Well, his latest episode, he went to Syria. And with Syria, we have this image that all we ever think about is war, death, and destruction and terrorism. And it couldn't have been further from the truth. And by the way, he went through Beirut to get to Syria. And I would argue that Beirut was even nicer than Syria, and it kind of reminded me a little of Beverly Hills.
Actually, it is. There's a first of all, thanks for having me on your show.
Good morning, my man. How you doing?
How you doing? As you're saying, Beirut is definitely not what you think. It's very westernized. It's very European.
It looked like I was in the Grove, not our Grove, the Grove over in Los Angeles.
Right.
If you ever been there by Rodeo Drive, that area, that's where a lot of famous people go, that mall area. But it kind of reminded me of that. Hell, there's a part in your video where you walk by. There's this beautiful silver ticket booth. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I mean, the work just to create that ticket booth alone.
I know. It's the media representation of it is so skewed. It's amazing. Well, because of where it is.
Right.
And one thing a lot of people don't know about Lebanon is that it's half Christian, first of all. It's not this place populated with fundamentalists, not at all. And Syria, too. I don't know if you remember the video how diverse it is. It is massively diverse.
Yes.
It is not what the Western media portrays it as.
At churches there, you can
galore.
It's not just one religion. Multiple religions. You
Amazing
can
how
practice.
diverse it is. Amazing.
Right.
The president or the dictator, whatever you want to call him, he's an Alawite. Now, what is that? It's a religion that branched off of Islam over 1,000 years ago. They kind of became their own thing. So not much is known about him, and the West never mentions that either. They just portray him as a brutal dictator, which he is, by the way. I'm not going to sugarcoat what this guy does, but he is secular, and that's what sets the mood for Syrian politics. And that's why extremist groups like Al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS, they hate the guy more than anything because they see him as a heretic because he's not a Sunni Muslim like the rest of them, and because he has a secular government and allows alcohol to be sold, they see him as a monster for that reason.
Well, dude, you were in Syria and you were at a karaoke bar.
Yes.
And by the way, they were singing my favorite band, U2.
Yes, we were.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, they sounded really good. That one guy can sing, man.
Yeah, his name's Noah. He's the other American I had on the group of us. A really cool guy. We got along great because he's the only other American there. So, of course, we were talking about NFL and all that stuff.
Right.
But, yeah, we kind of bonded a little over that. And we were pretty drunk, all of us. We all got wasted that night. And to show you how wasted I was, I actually sang Despacito.
Oh!
Yeah. You don't want to see that video.
You should have put that.
No,
you should have put that on your show, man.
That would have lost subscribers.
So subscribe. Go to YouTube. It's called Mike No Go Zones, and you'll find it's got a little world as the logo, and you'll see it. He's been to Baltimore, Opelika. The Baltimore one's kind of interesting because he catches a drug deal going on accidentally, and then then let's just say that the dude that's kind of in charge of the neighborhood saves his ass because he shows him what he does. Now, first of all, Mike, let's explain the show. Because that's, I kind of gave an explanation, but talk to us what inspired you to do this, because a lot of people will think you're freaking crazy.
Yes, you're not the first.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, well, in your Syria video, the English guy, who's really nice, by the way, that helped you get that helped you get in there.
Yeah.
And by the way, was that his girlfriend?
Yes.
Does she go with him everywhere?
Yeah, she's from Syria.
Oh, okay.
And she's the one actually secured the visa for me.
Oh, okay.
So big props to Nina.
Okay, all right.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's a good dude, bro.
Really
It's
great guy.
A really, really cool dude.
And he's very
And
young.
young, man.
Very young, but his knowledge of geopolitics blew me away. When I was that age, I was doing keg stands and acting like a moron.
You're
and
right,
here
yeah.
he is studying geopolitics and being so well versed. He speaks several languages. I mean, I just imagine myself at that age, or what an idiot I was.
Yeah, but the only thing that is like he's dying to go to Iraq, and I'm like,
He's been there.
Well, he already went.
Yes, he's been.
Since that conversation.
No, not since the
Oh
conversation.
no, it was Iran. I'm sorry, it was Iran that
He's been. I think he's been.
It was one of those that he hadn't
he's been to Iraq.
Okay, so then it was Iran that he hadn't been to
Right.
yet, and he wants to go, and I'm like, well, dude, why do you want to go there now? And I know you guys talked about it in your conversation,
Correct.
like this is not the good time to go there, but I mean, it's just like, that's not a place that I really would want to go to. But talk to us about your inspiration on doing a show to go to places that most people would never go to.
Right. Well, it's part travel documentary, part social experiments. I wanted to see how skewed the media is on scaring us about not going to a certain place. Like, for example, Chicago, bad rep in the media. And I have family there. I've been to Chicago countless times, whether to go to a Cubs game, I've been to a White Sox game, and I've never once had an issue, not once. And I'm kind of clicked in my head, like why is it portrayed so badly? And another place too, Colombia. I've been to Colombia more than once as a tourist, not to film. And every time I'd go, people were like, oh, you're going to get kidnapped, you're going to get killed, you're going to get your kidney stolen. All these crazy, they watch Narcos.
Right.
They think the car's going to blow up and all
right,
that,
right.
explosions in the streets, gun battles. And you go to a place like Colombia, people are friendly, they're nice, they're happy to see you. They're not jaded because they don't get as many tourists as, let's say, Western Europe. Well, not today, but so they're more appreciative. And I was like, wow. You start getting these ideas in your head. And then I guess after Anthony Bourdain died,
Right.
You could say he was like the guy that pioneered this kind of travel because he'd go to unconventional places too.
Right. Yes.
And after he passed so sadly, I figured, who else is doing a show like this?
Right.
And it's like, well, if no one else is doing it, when I grab my camera and just start doing it myself.
Well, I mean, it really is an interesting show, and you get to learn a lot, and you get to experience a lot. Like, dude, just Opalaka.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about something that's in our backyard.
Exactly.
And the things that you see at Opalaka that you probably didn't know.
Did you know it had that collection of Moorish architecture? No one does.
No.
Nobody. And there's a craft brewery there. Shout out to Ismael Fernandez, by the way. He is the owner of Legacy Caribbean. You can say the series was birthed there because when I first got the idea to shoot in Opalaka, I needed to find quirky places to discover there, and I pulled it up on Google Earth, and I saw this craft brewery there, and I'm like, there cannot be a craft brewery in Opalaka. So I had to go there myself. And when I approached him about starting this video, I had nothing to show him. I had no credentials, no website, no videos, nothing to show him. And he took a chance on me. And here we are 6 episodes later.
Yeah, that's amazing, and
Yeah.
that is amazing. And the Syria thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get any backlash from the government at all? Did I don't know? Did an FBI agent
No.
show up at your house or something? Like, what the hell are you doing there? Or
One of your something funny. When I flew back, it's not a direct flight. I had to go from Syria to Beirut by bus, private bus, and from Beirut I had to fly through Istanbul, Turkey, and from Turkey to Miami. Now this is before the whole coronavirus scare happened. This was way back in early January, and when I landed in MIA, I scanned my passport. The passport guy looked at me, said "Welcome home," and stamped it, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So you haven't had any guys with glasses and earpieces following you around or anything like
No,
that?
not at all.
Oh man,
Not
that's
at all.
amazing. Okay, so everybody seems so freaking nice
Yes.
over in Syria.
They were.
Like, it didn't matter where you were. They were happy to see you. They were welcoming you. They were offering you whatever it was.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
It was, and I never once hid the fact that I was American.
Right.
Not once. And they were all willing to shake my hand. They told me marhaba. That means welcome in Arabic.
Okay.
And I was blown away by the hospitality. And if you watch the interviews, I interviewed some of the guides
Yes,
there,
I watched
especially
all
Abir. She's the female tourist guide that was there. Very lovely girl, too.
Yes.
And she's like, it's part of our culture. Syrian culture be welcoming to tourists. And I saw it everywhere, in the shops, at the bars, you know. Go up and get a belly up for a drink, and, you know, they ask you because you're not ordering in Arabic, and oh, I'm from the States.
Let me ask you, towards the end, you're in an amphitheater.
Yes.
That whole area that was destroyed, which I can't imagine.
Palmyra, yeah, it was sad.
I can't imagine what it looked like before all that destruction, because it still looked beautiful.
Yes.
The way it was, dude. That amphitheater was enormous.
It was.
It looked like maybe 15,000 people fit in that thing. How many? How many to fit? Because it was.
Yeah.
You were high up.
I was.
Like when you look down, I was like, wow, man. Back in the day, they had big. That's a big ass amphitheater.
It was. It was for.
And the construction, you can still see how good those folks were in those days to be able to construct things so perfectly, man.
Not only that, it was acoustically built because they didn't have speakers,
right?
Sound systems like they do. Like an actor, let's say they're putting on a play, he had to go front stage and center and project his voice to the back, to the last row. They did it through acoustics. It's amazing how advanced they were.
Yeah, well, no phones, no nothing to get in the way of the
absolutely nothing
of the show back in those days. In those days, they were actually quiet during the whole thing.
Exactly.
So, and by the way, Beirut.
Yes.
Was, and I know you haven't taken out the short series yet on Beirut, right?
No, coming soon. I wasn't in Beirut enough time to film.
I know you told me it's going to
be a little tiny bonus
that
video
at the end that it's going to be short. But brother, Beirut is gorgeous.
It is. It is.
It like reminded me, like I said, of the Grove, and it was just like it was so nice, dude.
Beirut used to be the Paris of the Middle East before their civil war, and they have casinos, tons of nightlife, tons of anything you want to eat. You want Italian, Mexican, sushi, anything you want, you can find it there. It is a great city. Unfortunately, now with the whole virus thing, tourism is going to suffer, not just here, everywhere. Everybody's going to be suffering the same thing, but hopefully that's a city I definitely want to return and explore much deeper.
Yeah, because
it is.
Wow, dude, when the pictures you brought back, the videos that you brought back from Beirut were breathtaking.
It is. It is a great city. It's fantastic.
The good thing is you kind of, you bring down the curtain and you show us what these places are like. I mean, when you're in Baltimore and you're talking to these citizens that are probably going to make a lot of money in the reinvestment of certain neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
And you just would imagine. Now, there were parts of Baltimore that you showed that were kind of run down.
I don't sugarcoat anything, by the way.
Right. No, of course not. Yeah. And you did that also, in the Syria.
Absolutely. The city of Homs was the most destroyed city. It was the most heavily bombed city during the war.
Yeah, it looked like they were just, crack dens. It's the only thing that they could be from there on out.
Horrendous. But
you know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you've been to New Orleans. But when you drive out of the city and just outside the city on I-10, there's neighborhoods that are completely destroyed from Katrina.
Yeah, there was an amusement park, I remember.
Yeah, it's gone. That
gone.
amusement park is abandoned.
Yes.
Like you'll see some of the rides that are still there and all the weeds growing through it. But yeah, it's abandoned. That's the neighborhood I'm talking about is before that amusement park.
I think I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So in a way, when I was watching your video, it reminded me of New Orleans.
Yes.
That like you could go and have some fun in Bourbon Street and then drive out and see some depressing ass stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was the same thing in Syria. There were parts of Syria that are just breathtaking and beautiful, and then obviously you go where it was a freaking war zone.
In the middle of all those ruins, there was a Syrian Orthodox church that is still up and running.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And let me tell you, again, some of the churches you showed also in that video, gorgeous, man.
I know. A lot of people don't realize that there's a very large Christian minority in Syria, and no one gives them any attention. The media just ignores them. And it just, because I think it goes against their narrative that they want to sell everyone in Syria like some member of ISIS, which is not the case. And another thing that I discovered, that the media kind of sold ISIS as a Syrian entity. It wasn't. All those fighters came from abroad. And their leader, thank God that guy's dead and put out of his misery, He was from Iraq.
Okay.
So
Right.
if anyone hated ISIS more than anyone, it was the Syrian people themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Which you don't see it out on CNN.
No, no,
or
not-
Fox
no.
or nothing. They will not touch that 10-foot pole.
We won't see anything on television that you showed us.
Yeah.
They won't show any of the good.
No, absolutely not.
Because that's like you go and you show the good in a lot of these places, and that's something that we just don't see because it doesn't sell. You know,
Correct.
I've been saying for years,
Correct.
Football players, basketball players, all that, they go and do all kinds of great community work every week.
Sure.
Every week, and we get the press releases. None of us put it out
course.
because nobody's going to listen to us talk about them being at the Big Brothers and Big Sisters or at the Boys Club or at whatever it is, doing something good because it's boring.
It is.
But we want to talk about the guy that got arrested and hit his
Yep.
wife, and then the trade and this and that, because that's
That's what moves the needle.
That's what moves the needle, exactly. And so a lot of the stuff, to me, was refreshing because it's really educational, you know, when you watch your show. So, Mikey, what's the next trip? What's the next no-go zone you're targeting?
Okay, I'm looking at Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I know. Well, first of all, international travel is a little hard right now.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes.
So-
Yes.
And let's see if we can go to Atlanta. Who knows? Maybe hope all
How about-
domestic
How
travel.
about Compton, bro?
That too.
How about East LA?
Yes, that too.
I
was
want to
gonna
see.
say
I want to see the real East LA with you, the
And-
real Compton with you.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Yes.
Yes.
And Memphis is another one on the list.
Okay, Memphis. Okay. I see. I don't look at Memphis and Atlanta like I looked at the other ones that or St. Louis.
Yes.
That St. Louis has been known to have some really rough neighborhoods, you know, overall. I didn't know that Atlanta was viewed that way.
No, well, there's only one area. There's a area in Atlanta called the Bluff. The reason why I picked Atlanta, one, I have family there.
Okay.
So I can kill two birds with one stone.
Right.
But also, Atlanta is probably one of the strongest economies in the country. There's a lot of Fortune 500 companies there, but for some reason, there's one part of Atlanta called the Bluff, which is just stubborn. It will not improve, despite unemployment being low. You can get a job anywhere. We're always looking for workers, whether it's at a factory or working for a corporation. For some reason, that area I want to discover why that area is being ignored. What's causing that?
Okay.
Detroit, of course, is an obvious choice.
Yeah, 8 Mile,
you know,
baby. Yeah.
Exactly. L.A., of course. That's
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah. LA's got several areas you could go to.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, that's that because it's so big, dude. Man, every time I go to LA, I am marveled. And I'm also not surprised why everything is so run down. There are so many bridges and highways.
Yeah.
In order to maintain the streets of LA, I can't imagine the kind of money it takes. And that's why their streets are all run down.
That and
It's way too, unless you go, of course, through Beverly Hills.
of course.
See, because you'll go through a bunch of rough neighborhoods, and then once you run into Beverly Hills, boy, everything is paved, beautiful, everything is perfect, manicured. And then once you get out of Beverly Hills, everything's all screwed up again.
San Fran, too. They're having all kinds of problems with their homeless.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could. I lived in San Fran, so yes. Now I haven't been there in several years, so I don't know how it's not called red light district. It's called God, what is it called, that area? Oh, man, I'm forgetting the damn name now.
I've never been, so I can't help you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the hell it's called. I don't know if somebody's watching now. You can tell us. But there's an area that is a no-go zone.
Every city has one.
Right, every city has one. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. Is there another no-go zone you want to do down here besides Opelika, since you did it already?
I was thinking Liberty City.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
definitely it's a part of Miami that no tourists go to.
No.
Not at all. Oh, how about Miami Gardens?
Yeah, that's another one.
And you got to think they have the same address as where the Dolphins and the Hurricanes play.
Right.
How much of that money that gets spent there trickles down to that economy there?
Right. And they're adding a lot of events in that town.
Right. But yet,
Because that facility alone has a boatload of events.
Correct. Whether it's a concert or the athletic events going on there, but how much of that money reaches the people that actually live there?
Yeah. Oh, I get you.
I'd like to ask that question to whoever's running Miami Gardens.
So once we get past COVID, what's the no-go zone outside the country you want to hit?
Peru.
Really?
Well, I have family there. Again, I like to
Okay.
kill two birds with one stone.
Okay.
There's some parts of Lima that are really far off the tourist path. And now, I don't know how much you're familiar with. Due to the crisis in Venezuela, there are tons of hordes of immigrants leaving Venezuela going to Peru. 99% of them are good. They're just looking for work. But you have that 1% that is putting a bad name on all the migration of leaving Venezuela. There's a lot of criminals left Caracas.
So
A lot of the gangs left, and they're
You're talking the Mario boat lift.
Correct.
Basically.
Pretty much.
Because back in the 60s and the 50s, the Cubans that came were hard-working
Absolutely.
Cubans ready to go. And then in 1980, as like they said in Scarface, Castro opened up the jails and crapped all over us.
Yes.
And that's basically what he really did during the Mariel. And that gave Cubans a really bad name because they sent over the dregs of the society.
Right. Nicolas Maduro is doing the same thing, by the way. He has something called colectivos to enforce his rule over Caracas and all the big cities. He has bands of hired assassins to enforce his rule.
Wow.
And to rub out political opponents. It's crazy. I wouldn't mind going there to Venezuela to film, but I have to get a visa for there, and that would be that would be that would be kind of intense.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you have to fear not only the colectivos, there's something called the Sabine in Venezuela. That's the secret police. And they are known to torture, detain you forever if they think you're working against the Maduro government.
So let me ask you something. What is your research like? Because you seem to know the hot spots all around the world. So how do you gather your information?
I'm always on Google, first of all.
Okay.
And if just pull up any city and say what are the bad areas of like Memphis, for example, and it'll list you all the places.
Really?
Yeah, just do a Google search.
Okay.
Google Earth helps too.
Okay. So the website is Mike on YouTube. You go to Mike No Go Zones, subscribe, check it out. You're going to learn a lot, okay? Even in Opelika or Baltimore or wherever he's gone, the Syria one is freaking amazing. You're going to freak out with Beirut. I'm telling you. That wow, dude. I was blown away. I was like I go to my wife, I want to go to Beirut. I want to go hang out and just have fun at Beirut.
You know, they have casinos there, too. If you want to gamble,
it's beautiful.
drink champagne. Yeah, they have everything there.
That's crazy, dude.
It is.
And it just, the image I had of Syria and Beirut was so terrible.
Just
know
a
what I
bunch
mean?
of jihadists running around.
Right,
yeah,
that's it.
Cutting heads off.
That's it. That's all I ever think of is terrorism and war, and the place is all completely destroyed wherever you go.
Yeah.
It's just, you live in a destroyed building and you go visit your friend in another destroyed building.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, but to be fair, also, I did not go to Idlib province in Syria. That's where the war's still going on, supposedly.
Right.
So we weren't allowed to go there, first of all.
Of course.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
But during the Civil War, too, Damascus never fell to the rebels. So that's why Damascus tends to be more intact than the rest of the country.
Okay. All right. It was beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Which is that Crusader Castle. I don't know if you remember that part of the video.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
There's a massive Crusader castle in Syria called Crac de Chevalier, built over 1,000 years ago. And me, I love these movies like Kingdom of Heaven and all that.
Yes.
Oh, God. I mean, when you see that, I got chills.
It was, again, amazing.
Yeah.
Tell them first about the website, the Twitter handle, all of that, which is MNoGoZones.
Right, that's on Twitter. Correct. Or you can also go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Okay.
You can find all the social media links there. All the videos are listed there. A little bit about myself.
There you
Everything's
go.
listed there.
MikeNoGoZones.com, and we'll have Mikey on again when he does another crazy trip. But
Yeah.
seriously, check it out on YouTube, Mike No Go Zones. Mike, man, thank you for taking some time, brother. That was good stuff.
No, thanks for having me.
That Syria video was too much, man.
And
Too
let's
much.
hope we can go see all the shows that we want to go see. So.
Yes. Hopefully we'll get our music back. Brother.
Yeah, I know.
Because all they continue to do is cancel. Cancel. Although there's one big festival that we'll talk about between 1 and 4 that is still going on. It's pretty amazing that that one is still going on. Mike, thank you, my brother.
No,
Appreciate
thank
it. And when I said hi to Mike, I took out my hand, and then I remembered, and he remembered. So it just did the elbow thing, and
I'm not being rude, by the way. Just being cautious.
No, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing, brother. Plus, you've been all over the world. I don't know where the hell you've been. All right, we got to thank, of course, Larry Schlossberg and all the great people out here at Craig Zinn's, Acura, Pembroke Pines. Bill, as always, cranking it. We thank, of course, Mike, doing great work. Mike No Go Zones is the website. We're going to wrap it up here. We're going to head to Hialeah Park. We'll be out there 1 to 4. And we've got a bunch of guests, by the way, as we're going to have Jenna Lane at 2 o'clock. Jenna's going to join us to talk about Tom Brady going to the Bucs. Anthony Chang's going to join us at 1 o'clock, the Herald beat writer for the Miami Heat. We'll have a Dolphin president at 2:30, Steve Calabro at 3. So we got a loaded show, all kinds of stuff. We'll take a break. We'll wrap it up here. We'll see you at 1 o'clock live from Hialeah Park.
2-hour hiatus. See ya.